Hey Stamper friends, welcome to Brandy's Cards. So have you guys heard a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator say the word case? That I'd like, go ahead and case my card, casing. And have you ever wondered what in the heck does that mean? Well, casing stands for copy and share everything. And it is one of the things that Stampin' Up! They talk about all the time. That's why we share these ideas so that you can copy them and share them. And you can also take them and maybe recreate them your own way. Add your own spin to it if you would like. So with that said, the card that we're going to make today, I actually found it in the new Stampin' Up! Catalog. That's right, the new catalog. It is here. It's in my hot little hands. Very excited about it. And many of you have emailed me and have asked me for a catalog, and I really, really appreciate that. And they will ship mid-May. So you keep your eyes open for those. They'll ship mid-May. You'll get them by the first week in June. If you don't get yours, let me know. They're coming from Salt Lake City, Utah, from Stampin' Up. So if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, let me know. I'll send you a catalog. I'd love to earn your business. And for those of you that have purchased from me in this past year, you are going to get a catalog, so don't worry, okay? So I'm excited. The card that we're making, I cased it from the catalog, and I wrote down the page number. It's on page 127. So when you get your catalog, open up to page 127, and you'll see it in the upper right-hand corner. Now, I can't show you yet because the catalog hasn't been launched yet, and Stampin' Up! Has asked us not to do that. So when you get it, take a look at that page. Now, I've changed it up a little bit, and you'll see the difference. So here is the card that we're going to be making. And, up here I did a Mother's Day. And this Mother's Day stamp is from the Delightful Dozen. However, here I have used the Serene Silhouette stamp set. You can see I've got the birds over here. And I've used crushed curry. And then this is your wood grain embossing folder. Now check this out. This is my most favorite part. You see that? And then you open it up. Voila. Pretty cool, right? So I really like this card. I love how it just kind of hooks in like that. It's just really fun and very earthy. I like it. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Enough of the jibber jabber. So here I have got, I just have some white cardstock, Whisper White. Again, I have all the sizes and dimensions on Brandy's Cards, brandyscards.com. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the tags that you'll put in there. So if you're looking for this video, up in the search bar, type in their Serene Silhouettes, type in their wood grain embossing folder, and this card should come up, okay? All right, so now what we're gonna do is I was trying to think of my own technique background. You guys know I like to do that, right? So I have crushed curry, a crushed curry stamp pad ink, and I thought, what could I do with this to get the ink onto my paper? So then I thought, what, let's just have some fun. So I am just going to create my own background, and all I'm doing is just pushing my stamp pad down on my paper. And check out this. I love it. How stinking cool is that? See? And you guys thought that you always had to buy designer series paper. Now, I do like designer series paper a lot, but this kind of stuff is really fun, right? Super easy. And you know what else? If you mess up and you're like, oh, I don't like it, flip it over and do it again. And look at that. I got a spoogie on the back there. So let's just go ahead and do the back side, because then it looks like I intended for the whole thing to be done. So let's just go ahead and do the back side. And all I'm doing is touching my stamp pad down. Now, one of the little tidbits I will give you is that by doing this, it does get a little inked up, and the smudge that I got was from the excess on my scrap paper. So let's just go ahead and let's flip my scrap paper over so that way I don't get it on the rest of my card. So let's move on to our framelit. So here we've got the circle framelits. I've pulled this out to show you. This is just a magnetic piece that I've put to show you the framelits. So we're going to use the framelit, the outside for the scallop, and then if you count from the scallop in, it's circle number 4. So the scallop is 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and you'll see that right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the big scallop. I've got my garden. This is actually old olive cardstock. And so when you put your, most of you already know how to use framelits, and I actually don't have my magnetic platform right here. I could certainly have it, but due to the fact that I'm not, it doesn't have to be positioned perfectly, I decided not to pull it out because This one was already out and it was at my disposal. So what I'm going to do now is I've got it between my plates. I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. Here it comes, and out the other side. And so take a look at this. This is my first scallop, okay? And so while we're Big Shotting, I'm going to go ahead and Big Shot my circle for the front of my card. And and that's only because we're already Big Shotting. So here we go. I just have a Whisper White piece of cardstock. I'm going to set my circle down, and I'm going to run that back through my Big Shot. Now, if some of you are interested in learning more about the Big Shot and what it is and some of the things that it cuts, I'd love to share that with you. I actually have an information sheet on my website that tells you all about the various things that you can cut with the Big Shot. So I will make sure and put that in this post so that you have that available to you and you can take a look at that. I love to cut various textiles and things with my Big Shot and its dies. All right, so now we have a scallop, and take a look here. This is the card. So you can see here on the back of the card, I folded my scallop over it, and that's what's hooking inside my antique brad. And by the way, the antique brads are also in the new catalog. Woohoo! Yeah, very excited about that. Love those. All right, so here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out our Simply Scored. And let's see, I'll just put that right here. I've got my Simply Scored. I'm going to set this inside so it's touching both of the edges. And I'm going to score it at, let's score it at 3 inches. Straight down at 3 inches. Okay, we'll put our little tool away and we'll set this back down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our wood grain embossing folder, and I have that right here. Wood grain, I love this one. This one's been very, very popular. I would go ahead and prep your paper first, okay? Prep your paper, and then you're going to put it inside of your embossing folder. And I just went ahead and tucked it in here just like that, because otherwise it's not going to go through. It's going to be too wide. So just, fold it under, run it through the Big Shot, get that fabulous texture in there that we all love. That's right, that we can get over and over. It's like instant gratification. You open it up and you're like, wow, super cool. See that? And now it just embossed half of my scallop. Now maybe you're wondering, well, why didn't you just emboss the whole thing? It doesn't fit. That's why. It doesn't fit in the entire thing. So rather than worrying about that, because no one's probably going to look at the back of my card anyway, I just folded it in half. So right now I'm putting a little bit of Tombow right here on the back of my scallop, and I want the scallop to kind of be what closes my card. So because the back is decorated fun as well, and let's see which one I like best. I think I like that one the best. So I'm going to go ahead and just add my scallop just like that. And because we've already pre-scored it, it has that perfect line that goes straight down. Perfect, right? So really cool stuff. We're going to set that down. Now let's go on to Stampin' our greeting on the front. So this is really easy. Just decide what greeting that you want salutation. Originally I did Mother's Day, and so this one I thought was really pretty for my wonderful mother. And again, that's from the Stampin' Up! Delightful Dozen stamp set. And then on the inside I have here, love you. So I just thought that was a really neat personal touch that you're not expecting, and then you open the card and you're like, wow. And so I just thought that was really, really neat. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this one the same sort of way. I would recommend that you stamp your greeting first. The reason you stamp your greeting first is then you can work around it. So I'm going to go for many thanks because I have so many of you that I want to send thank you notes to. That I'm going to start with that. I'm going to stamp that straight down and straight up. Okay. And then what I did is I went to my birds. And the reason I did that is because I wanted the birds to kind of wrap around it. And then I could work my yellow in. So I'm going to kind of take the little curve here in my stamp and just kind of put it right around the edge. Okay. And so I think that's really cool. That looks really, really good. See that there? Awesome. Okay, so now I have my flowers. I'm going to ink those up again in crushed curry. And the brown that I used was soft suede. Just so you know, the brown is soft suede and the green is old olive. I'm going to take my crushed curry and I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm going to stamp it over the words and back onto my circle. I'm going to ink it up again. I'm going to stamp it off again. And I just want maybe just a little bit more here off to the side. It just is really pretty when you have that sort of layered look, that intended layered look. See that there? Very pretty. So we're well on our way. We're honestly pretty close to being done. Now I have a little foam pad here. This is from our piercing tool kit. And I've got my piercing tool, and you're like, what are you going to do with that? Well, what we're going to do is we need to add, my hole punch does not reach in that far because of where I have my brad placed, my antique brad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'll stick my image down, and then I'm going to figure out where I want my brad to be, because remember, I'm using the brad to hook the teeth card closed. Okay, so that is the brad is actually functional, and that's why it's important. So I'm taking off my my little Stampin' Dimensionals. We're going to put this down right about there, and it doesn't really matter where, you know, just put it where you feel it's eye pleasing. So now you see there it is. And I'm going to take my brad, and I'm just going to kind of go, okay, you know what? I think I'd like it right there. And so again, figure out where you would like it. And I'm going to look here, and I'm going to see where the brad is at. And I'm just going to kind of put a little indentation in there. Not going to actually poke through, because then you'll poke through your entire, both of your cards, and you don't want to do that. So all I did was just put a little indentation, and I can see it right here. And I'm just going to poke a hole through it, and that is it. It's easy as that. We're going to fold our card back up, and then we're going to, before we put that brad in there, I'd liked a little bit of twine in here. This is our Stampin' Up! Linen thread. So I don't know why I always call it twine, but anyway, it's linen thread, and what I'm going to do is just kind of fold it. You know, you can do it however you would like, but I just thought it added a little bit of something extra. So I have some mini glue dots here, and I'm just going to put a little mini glue dot on both of these pieces, so that way it will stick down perfectly and I don't have to worry about it coming up or out. And I found it was easier just to go ahead and stick it down next to where I want my brad. The brad is big enough that it's going to cover it, so I wouldn't get too tripped up. So here you see we stuck it down, and now I've put my brad in there. And you can also see that my twine here is just a little long and out of control. So we're going to snip that off. All right, so now that we've done that and we've snipped it off, you can go in there and separate those threads as well. You know, either way, totally up to you. Now, I love this card. It hooks beautifully. See that? But you know what I don't like about it? This is what I don't like. Oh, eyesore, right? Yeah, we don't like that. So what are we going to do about it? Well, you know, what I decided to do, and I think I showed you the example, is just take yourself, I've got the 1 3/4 inch punch, and I thought, you know what, I think one of my viewers and so kindly wrote me a letter and said, you know, if you make a mistake, it's an opportunity to embellish. Well, you know what, that brad is an opportunity to embellish over the embellishment, I suppose. So here we go. We're not gonna get too tricky in here, but I've got the flour crushed curry, stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it on here. Looks pretty. You know, you could, I honestly, in this card, you'll see that this is a Mother's Day card. So here again on the inside, I put Love You. The green looks really, really pretty in there, but it's entirely up to you what you decide to do with it. All right. So now I have that on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple Stampin' Dimensionals. We're well on our way. I promise you that. We're going to put a couple Stampin' Dimensionals right here on your card next to your brad, because we want to hide that. And then we're going to add some little cute flowers, and we are all done. That's right. So here we go. See, now look at that. That is covering it beautifully. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I've got my scrap paper here again, and I'm going to take my stamp pad, and in the other corner that I haven't used yet, I'm just going to go ahead and get myself a little bit of yellow, okay? And that yellow is going to serve as the flower. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out a few flowers. Probably about 3 is really all you need. There we go. I caught one on my arm here. So there's 3. And you need your mini glue dots. You could use glue for this, but it's so much easier with a mini glue dot. Trust me on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put, you know, I thought it just was kind of pretty. Since I don't have a greeting on the inside, I'll just put my flower there on the inside. I've got 2 more to get here. And you know, you could put as many flowers as you want, but I liked one on my embellishment, my antique brad. And again, I sort of liked it on the inside or on the top here in the flowers as well. So we're going to stick that down. I also have some pearls. We're going to go ahead and put our pearls right here in the center of each of our cards. And I am using my, you know, a lot of times you guys see me use my scissors, right, for those. But you can use whatever works. And this is a poker tool, and it's working beautifully. All right. So I'm going to stick that right there. And we are all done. That's it. Super, super sweet. I love this card. It's really fun. It's different. And I can totally envision you guys and all your creativity switching this card up, having lots of fun, doing different, you know, colors, maybe a couple different stamp pads. So I'm just excited to see what you guys come up. And guess what? Do you have Instagram? Anybody have Instagram? Yeah? Well, if you do and you make any of my cards or you case anything or you have a card that you want to share, take a picture with it with your phone on Instagram and go ahead and hashtag it Brandy's Cards. And it will pop up on the front page of my website for all to see. And of course, if you have a website that you want to share, put your website in that hashtag as well. And, you know, put it in there so that way folks, and, you know, put in there, tell us what your card is and how we can find you. Just, you know, it's a way for all of us to share. So I appreciate all of you guys for stopping by. I appreciate your emails, your comments, your business, and your support. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to do this every day. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.